Welcome to Onslow County Today. I'm your host, Lisa Whitman-Grice, and we have a very full show for you today. We're talking about everything from keeping our children active and engaged through the holiday season to keeping our children healthy. On today's show, we're going to visit with everyone from the tax office to Park and Rec. In this season of Thanksgiving and celebration, let us just take a moment to thank you for joining us every month for Onslow County Today, and we look forward to visiting with you in the new year. But we also invite you, contact us and let us know what you'd like to see in 2020 on Onslow County Today. Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is one of our most fun friends, Tondria Leach from the Peers Program. Tondria, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So we've got three things to talk about.
Yes.
Number one, very quickly, you have an event coming up on December the 7th. Tell
December
us,
7th,
because
yes.
this is kind of a new thing for you all. Tell us about it.
So my team has gotten together and they want to host Mr. and Mrs. Claus at Piers on December 7th. And we're going to have an antique sleigh out. We're going to have the kids be able to run around Piers, hopefully be able to do a little bit of crafting, as well as our Piers team has done some crafts. So if some parents want to buy some crafts, they can.
Okay.
Yes.
And this is kind of a new event for you
It
all.
is.
So first time really doing this.
Yes.
But you're getting in the holiday spirit quick and fast and furious.
Oh yes, they've got the Piers house decked out with all types of Christmas cheer right now.
All right.
We even have a tree outside decorated, and it's so beautiful on our front porch.
Well, you know, when folks just are in that area, kind of swing past Cheney Avenue
Yes.
and get a sneak peek.
Yes,
So Christmas is on the way at the Piers house.
it is.
Now, speaking of the Piers house, you all have a drop-in daycare that you have there. Let's tell folks about that, because this is such a great opportunity that I don't know that folks fully have taken advantage of.
Yes. So our child care program is a free program to anyone in Onslow County that just needs a break. We offer free from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Parents get to pick which day that they want their children to come. We have an infant room and a toddler room, and our teachers are so happy when the kids are showing up. When I left this morning, the kids were arriving. They were on the floor hugging the kids. I mean, it's so wonderful to see our child care providers and our kids interacting with each other. And my office is right between the two rooms, so I get to hear all the play all day while they're there, and it's just so wonderful.
Well, you know, the sounds.
Oh yes.
You know, that's what inspires you all to do what you do, those
Yes.
happy sounds.
Yes.
Now, we need to remind folks, this is not a regular child care provision.
Correct.
So this is not on an everyday basis. This is if you need a break, if you have some extra errands, maybe you don't have that extra set of hands at home to back you up there. So you need just a little extra help every once in a while.
Sometimes we just need to get away from our kids. Sometimes we just need a long time as parents just to regroup our thoughts, or to go to the grocery store by ourselves, or to even go to a doctor appointment for ourselves, because we forget to take care of ourselves as parents. And so this allows parents to be able to schedule in their kids, be able to go ahead and make their appointments. Maybe they're going to the dentist, maybe they're going to the chiropractor. Just to go relax and take a nap at home.
Take a minute.
You know, take a minute, breathe, relax, and when you come and pick your kids up at 1 o'clock, you're refreshed. And it just feels so great. And the kids are going home with their little artwork and stuff, and it's a safe, wonderful place for kids to come, play, be nurtured, be loved on. And then we send them back home with their parents, well rested.
Well, you know, when we take time for self-care, we're better for others.
Yes.
So how important that you all are offering that service. You do have a few restrictions, though, about wellness and things like that.
We do, and this is the season for colds and stuff. So we do ask parents, if your kids are sick, not to bring them. Go ahead and just call us and just cancel for the day. There's no problem in canceling. But we do offer for 5 infants from 0 or 6 weeks old, I'm sorry.
Right,
6 weeks to 2.5 in our infant room, and from 2.5 to 5 in our toddler room. And we don't want any of them to get sick either.
Right.
So, you know, parents do bring their lunch, so the kids get to all eat together. They get to go outside and play. Our playground is finally finished from the hurricane, so we have our new fence up, so kids are getting to go outside, and we're bundling the kids up, making sure they're not going to get sick. So yes, it's a really great time at Pierce right now.
So give you all a call, find out about your drop-in child care service, especially, like you said, this time of year when we're all just running fast and furious.
Yes.
Now, last but not least,
Yes.
we have to talk about, after the holidays, the fun does not stop at Pierce.
It does not.
Because you all have one of your big fundraising events coming up. This is your 3rd annual Masquerade Ball.
It is Unmasking Family Violence. Yes, it'll be the 3rd one, January 24th at American Legion. We will have the Notorious Clam Slammers singing for us, food by Texas Steakhouse. We're going to have all the games. We're going to have a photo booth. All of my staff and my volunteers will be dressed in our gowns to serve food for the public. And tickets are $50, but if someone buys a whole table for $10, they get to save one whole ticket, which is great.
And the funds that you all raise at this fun event goes to what? How does that help you all?
So we are a nonprofit for the prevention and intervention of child abuse and neglect. And this goes to help fund our parenting education program. We offer free childcare, free meals, and free books for every class that anyone takes. So it's open to anyone. You don't have to have a referral. You can be a self-referral throughout Onslow County. Anyone can come to any of our evidence-based parenting curriculums that we offer at Pierce.
And so this helps support all of that.
Yes.
And you know, folks only need to look at your website or the county's website, see our buddy Lisa with her beautiful mask.
Yes.
To know that this is a beautiful event.
Oh, yes.
Remind folks it's a masquerade ball. So, you know, folks think, should I come dressed like Cinderella? I mean, what should I wear?
Well, we did have someone last year that was beautifully dressed like Cinderella. But we have people dressed in for the women, their Sunday dresses, all the way to ball gowns.
Okay.
And for our men, from slacks and a button-up shirt, all the way to tuxedos. We want everyone to feel comfortable who comes to the masquerade ball, but we do ask that everyone wear a mask because we do like to unmask at the end of the night.
Beautiful.
And some of the masks have been so creative. Some make their masks, some order their masks. So I had mine painted on last year because I wear eyeglasses. So I had an artist actually paint a mask onto my face last year.
Beautiful.
Yes.
So we want folks to know exactly how to find out about your holiday event with Mr. and Mrs. Claus and your drop-in child care offerings, as well as any of your classes, and finally, of course, your masquerade ball. So what is the best way to reach Pierce?
I think there's 2 ways.
Okay.
First, you can call Pierce, and we are listed under the county as well as in any page, 333-9725.
Okay.
And then our Facebook gets updated constantly with all the area happenings, to include when people are dropping in, donating like baby formula or baby food. We give that out freely to anyone who needs it, and we're constantly posting those type things on our Facebook.
It is remarkable because, as we have said so many times about Pierce, when you don't have that family backup, you all are.
Yes.
You are a substitute family for so many of our young parents here in the county, any parent here in the county. And Does that make you everybody's honorary grandma, Andrea?
You know, I'm a Mimi.
Mimi, honorary Mimi, exactly.
I don't mind being the Mimi. I love getting on the floor with the kids as well as my staff does. I mean, if we have one crying, I'm in there rocking one as well as anyone else. Or you may see staff members rocking, using the swings on the front porch. And I love it. And I don't mind being their honorary Mimi.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much. Happy holidays to you
Thank
and
you.
all of your peers' families.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome back to Onslow County today, and although things are starting to look a little bit gray and we're right on the heels of winter here, Rich Mullins is here to talk to us about gardening and the Master Gardener program at Onslow County Cooperative Extension. Rich, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
So it is a little gloomy. We're all, we're going to get through the winter and then we're going to get ready for spring.
That's right.
And you all have a wonderful program at Cooperative Extension, your Master Gardeners program, and you have a big class opening up in January. Tell us about it.
Well, we do. The first class is January 14th,
Okay.
and it runs through March 19th. It's every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 a.m. until noon. And you get your certification going through the class. There are a number of guest speakers from outside the county. There are a couple of field trips. We'll take everybody up to the soil lab up in Raleigh, to the the Plant Disease and Insect Control Clinic, and a couple other things in there. We've got some other people outside of the county going to give some classes on things. We're going outside of the county for one class on propagation. And it's a pretty good deal. Now, the whole purpose of it is not just to make you a better gardener.
Right.
The Master Gardener Volunteers is a volunteer part of the Extension Service. We work for the horticultural agent, and we are training new people to work in the plant clinic, work with kids in various programs, work out in the demonstration garden, and we do have just a number of programs that you can get, all kinds of opportunities for volunteer, not just sitting in the plant clinic if that's not your thing. And we're getting really getting into children's programs starting this year.
Your Growing Minds program is phenomenal.
We just had the last one of those last Thursday. This is the first. We did it in the fall and the spring. But beyond that, now that's geared towards the third graders, but beyond that, we're starting some training for our folks December and January on the Junior Master Gardener program.
Oh, wow.
And so we've got that going, and we're working with the 4-H folks about getting the 4-H kids involved in things. And in fact, we've dedicated a couple of our raised beds for kids gardening. We just gave 2 to the seniors. We help them. They like to come out and grow and pick things. And so we're really, and we do have a children's garden planned into the demonstration garden when we get to it. And so we're really trying to reach out to a lot of the kids, because get the kids involved, and I think it's going to be really good. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask, so if I would want to enroll as a student in the Master Gardener program, again, not to just make me a better gardener, but so that I can give back to the community and share all this knowledge that you gain as part of that workshop, how do I get involved? How do I register?
There is registration forms at the Extension Center, and if people don't know where that is, if they know where the farmer's market is, it's the building right in front of the farmer's market. The applications are there. There is a fee that goes with it. What that gets you is a really good manual.
Oh, yeah.
The new manual that NC State put together, it's hardbound, it's not in a 3-ring binder, it's loaded with color pictures. It's just it's a wonderful book. And we do have a deadline of December 13th to give Emily time to order all the books and all that. But I suspect if somebody come in later than that, that wouldn't be a problem. She'll find a place. Yeah, she'll figure it out. And then again, it starts off on January 14th.
Okay, so
first class.
Right after the new year, jump right in, learn something new, which is what Cooperative Extension is all about, and improving the quality of life through learning and education. Get that great manual, And then once you finish with your Master Gardener training, then give back, either through Growing Minds or working in the Discovery Garden, helping folks as they get ready for their own spring gardens. Rich, we've said at the Cooperative Extension Building, the County Multipurpose Complex.
Right.
Of course, we can go to your website and check that out. And the main number, 455-5873. There they can call you to get more information. Anything you would like to share about your experience as a Master Gardener? What has it meant to you?
Well, I got in it kind of backwards because I didn't realize it was for a volunteer thing.
Okay.
I just wanted to get better at gardening. I am like many, many other folks who are not from here. And that's one of the things I enjoy most about it. Every year, I'm from Pennsylvania originally. And as I tell all the folks that come in here from Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, all these other places, this isn't like at home. You can't sit out on the back porch, eat a tomato, spit the seeds out, and have great plants and tomatoes next year. Gardening can be a challenge in Onslow County. Keeping a yard can be a challenge, depending on where in the county you are. So it's just a lot of fun, working with people and helping them realize that no, it's not that your thumbs have gone black. It's just a different environment, and you just have different things you got to do. And the first thing, and I'll advertise this, the first thing we do is recommend you get your soil tested.
There you go.
And we have that. That's a free service. The state does it for free, the testing. We have the kits to do it, show you how to do it. You bring your soil back in, and about every Tuesday, normally every Tuesday, we send them off up to the lab. So it's a free service. And we had if I have time for a quick.
Absolutely, sure.
We had a gentleman came in about a month and a half ago. Been trying to grow a yard. I think he was over in the Hubert area. Has sodded the yard. It died. Sodded it again. It died. Been going on like this for 3 or 4 years. And finally somebody said, why don't you go get your soil tested? And he brought it in and we sent it out and it came back. And his soil, blueberries like an acidic soil. His soil wouldn't have grown blueberries. And some of the other things that you're looking for in a soil, they just weren't there. So we helped him set up, and it was a perfect time for it because you don't just dump all that stuff on and then start planting.
Right.
But it was a perfect time for him now. He's kind of laid himself out a little 3-month calendar for putting this down, putting that down, working it in, and then resodding at an appropriate time next year.
Fantastic.
So those are
Fundamentals.
fundamentals.
We're not looking to have our very own elaborate Victorian garden yet.
Right.
But baby steps.
Yeah.
And you all help us understand those baby steps and really the fundamentals of it. Well, Rich, thank you for being here. And we're going to make sure that folks reach out to Cooperative Extension, get involved in the Master Gardeners program so that we can all have exactly the green, gorgeous garden that you all have there at the Discovery Garden.
And we got lots of room for more people in the class.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, and
Thank
happy
you.
holidays to you and
And
your
you too.
family.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is Chris White, Director at the Onslow County Albert J. Ellis Airport. Chris, thanks for being here.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Especially because this is the busiest travel time of the year, and you broke away to come share with us some tips and tricks for making travel time easier for everybody this time of year. So, what can you tell me?
Well, a lot of these tips work whether you're traveling by plane, train, or automobile. And probably the biggest and most important one is to enjoy the journey. So you want to give yourself plenty of time, reduce that stress. So when you want to book ahead, plan ahead, think about how you're packing, think about how you're dressing, think about where you're going as you book your tickets. It's going to, it may not be a white Christmas here in Onslow County, but it's going to be a white Christmas somewhere.
Oh,
so that
sure.
can disrupt the network a little bit. So being prepared for a potential delay or something like that is also good. So pack snacks and games and so forth for the kids. That's always good. We have a library kiosk at the airport where you can download for free an audio book or a book for your Kindle or something like that. download a movie for the kids. A lot of the airplanes today have onboard entertainment, so charge up your tablet and bring it with you. Also, it goes into packing. The TSA may need to inspect luggage, so don't wrap your gifts until you arrive there.
That's okay, great idea.
Even better, ship them ahead.
Okay.
Or even better, give gift cards.
Oh, there you go. Much easier, lightweight to carry.
That's right. That's right. So as you, especially if you have a family traveling with you, children or something like that, don't plan a trip with a really tight connection. You also may want to look at the maps of the airports. If you're not familiar with traveling frequently or flying, take a look at the map of the hub that you're going to be flying through, and take a look at where you might arrive and where you go, so you can have an idea. It reduces the stress. That's the whole idea, is reduce the stress.
You know, I always get that picture of, you know, this very beginning scene in Home Alone where they're just running through the airport as hard as they can and realize, oops, we left a kid at home.
Yeah, they forgot something very important.
So plan. Think about where you're starting out, where you're winding up, and kind of plan not just what you're taking, but your route, so that you're reducing all of that stress so you can enjoy the holidays for what they're meant to be.
Like I said, we say enjoy the journey. Small airports are wonderful because the lines are a lot shorter. You don't get lost in a huge crowd. And it's pretty intuitive. We think the airport is pretty obvious as to where you need to go, and the steps and the signage is pretty good. Also, sign up when you book your ticket, sign up for the alerts. The airlines will send you a text message if something goes awry with your travel plans. And they will do everything in the world to get you where you need to go when you need to get there. So that's why we say travel, if you want to save money, travel on off-peak days.
Okay.
And that way you don't have the large crowds to deal with. Also, check multiple websites. Sometimes the prices are a little bit different. We also talk about the total cost of travel. So don't just look at the airline ticket, but look at the cost of parking, look at the cost of driving, and so forth. There are other airports that people can choose, but you may have to travel several hours before you fly. So as we say, skip the drive and fly.
Skip the drive and fly OAJ. So I will tell you that during the Thanksgiving holiday break, my child flew in. She was about 8 minutes early, but I got to enjoy the beauty of being in our airport and enjoying what you all have going on right now. One, you have a beautiful Christmas tree up, and we can sit in our cool Adirondack rockers there underneath your Christmas tree, but you all have gone above and beyond in some of your decorating. You have even a couple of different art installations going on. Tell us about those.
We have an Art in the Airport program. It's been going on for several years, where we partnered with the Onslow County Public School System, and we have student art that is displayed as you approach the checkpoint. And this current session or current display is middle schoolers, and the theme is Inspire.
Oh, I love that.
Or innovation, excuse me. And so they have come up with all sorts of things, and what goes through a middle schooler's mind is interesting. Also down in baggage claim, we have our suitcase art that is brought to us by the Jacksonville Onslow Arts Council for the Arts. And they're decorated suitcases with scenes from Onslow County, and some of them are really creative and neat. We also have a long-term exhibit called Sky that's down underneath the escalator that high schoolers were given plasma torches.
Okay.
Yes, and they cut out their interpretation of what sky is, and it's a big mosaic. It's a very, very neat art piece. So we have those, and we also have a concert series that goes on during the holidays where musicians, youth musicians come in and play in the terminal building and entertain the passengers.
Well, you know, I think that people don't imagine that their airport, you know, it serves a very fundamental purpose. Get on the plane and get where I'm going. But you've made not only enjoying the journey more enjoyable, but even the getting there, even the start of your journey, you all have made more beautiful and more pleasant for us.
We want a sense of place. We don't want you to feel like you walked in any other airport. We want this to be unique. We want the Onslow County to be Onslow County. But also, at the same time, we want the amenities that you might experience at any other modern airport. So we have those. But it also is unique enough that you know where you are. And that's part of the art program, part of the design of the building, a lot of different features that we have put together to do that. The airport is about economic development. The airport generates over $474 million a year in economic impact and employs over, not just at the airport, but the airport business supplies over 2,785 jobs.
Wow.
So it's very, very successful from that perspective. We want to get everyone to fly out of the airport. We can get more flights that way. We can get more economic impact and create more jobs.
Now, you also have something very important coming up. 2021 is a big deal for you all because that marks what milestone?
50 years. The airport has served Onslow County for quite a long time, and we've grown with the county over that time, but 2021, especially Valentine's Day, which is the day the airport opened, will be a tremendous celebration.
So you're going to spend the whole next year really kind of learning about and gathering the history, which you happen to know I'm a little bit fond of, the history of the airport. So as people are traveling in and out and coming home to visit over the next year, what are you looking for that people can share with you?
We'd love to hear travel stories. We'd love to see photographs if people were willing to share those with us. And then we'll display those things throughout the year as we talk about our 50th anniversary. Now, the airport has had many unique events go on. There have been quite a few wedding or marriage proposals, and to my knowledge, they've always said yes.
Good.
At the airport. We've had many visitors to Onslow County, and quite a few VIPs have come to the airport.
Well, we are looking forward to celebrating that with you, but of course, the first things first, time to celebrate the holidays and enjoy the journey getting to the holidays. Do you have any sleighs?
Fresh out.
Fresh out of sleighs, but now you also have your wonderful tower so they can keep an eye out for the big guy, right?
That's right.
All right. Well, Chris White, it is always a pleasure having you. Happy holidays to you and your beautiful family and to everyone at OAJ. And of course, we're going to look forward to enjoying the journey.
Happy holidays.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is Harry Smith, Onslow County Tax Administrator. Harry, thanks for coming back.
Thanks, it's great to be here.
So we're going to talk about two different things. The
Right.
first thing we're going to talk about is folks received their tax bills, and now it's time for tax collection. So let's explain the calendar on that, what you're looking at, and then we'll talk about how folks can pay their taxes.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, tax bills are mailed out in July each year. They're technically due September 1st, but they do not become delinquent until the following January the 5th.
Okay.
And since January 5th actually falls on a Sunday in 2020, we have an extra day, so January 6th will be the last day to pay.
All right. So they received their notices in July, due in September, but of course there's that period a little bit after that. So they have up until, one more time, January 6th.
January 6th.
Okay, January 6th, 2020. When we talk about those tax bills, that addresses what property specifically, or what item specifically?
These are annual tax bills, so those are issued for all the real estate parcels in the county, and also all those persons that listed personal property, which includes things like boats and motors and manufactured homes, airplanes, and business personal property.
Okay, so that's all of those items.
That's correct.
All of those items. Now, you mentioned January 6th. So in between there, we have some holiday closures because of Christmas and New Year's. Everybody's busy. So you all have given us different opportunities and ways in which to pay our taxes. Tell me about those.
Well, our office is located at 234 Northwest Corridor Boulevard. We're on the second floor of the Onslow County Government Center. So obviously we have a lot of folks that come see us in person to pay their taxes each year. And we always do remind folks that it gets extremely busy towards the end of the year, especially that week after Christmas. So if they decide to come and pay us in person, they may need to have a little patience and stand in line. But we do try to provide some additional options. Obviously, mailing the payment in to that same address is the easiest way to pay. You can also go on our Onslow County website and pay it online. Now, there is a credit card processing fee associated with those,
Okay.
but people can also pay by debit or credit card online, or they can pay by debit card or credit card at the counter if they so choose.
Okay. Now, also, folks are going to say, but Mr. Smith, I am still fixing the roof on my house from that hurricane that hit a year and a half ago. What are we saying about that?
Well, the damage from the storm doesn't really have anything to do with the payment deadline, unfortunately. We don't have any authority to extend the payment deadline. What we have asked people to do, and we did a lot of reaching out last year at the beginning of the year, was for people to let us know if they still had unrepaired damage. We ended up visiting around 4,800 properties this year that let us know that they still had damage that was not repaired as of January 1st last year. And we'll also put that same message out for this year. If anyone has storm damage that's not going to be repaired by the listing date, which is January 1st of 2020, and they have not already notified our office, they do need to do that.
Okay.
However, that is an independent issue of the payments.
All right. Now, the other thing that might come to mind for some folks is, you know what? I paid off the mortgage on my house. And that my taxes and my insurance and everything always came out in escrow with my house payment. So what do I need to do in that situation?
Well, I would suggest that they contact their mortgage company just to see if the mortgage company paid their bill this year or not, because that has happened in the past where someone may pay their loan off and they get the bill, but they're used to their mortgage company paying it, so they don't send the payment in, and then they get a delinquent notice later on, and
Okay.
we don't want to avoid that if we can.
All right, so we've got our calendar, we know how to pay, we know special circumstances that might impact that. Anything else before we move on to listing our taxes about the payment process?
Well, just one quick comment. Obviously, taxation is something that involves the citizens as well as the tax office, and we try to make it as easy as possible for folks to pay. As you know, by doing this show, there's lots of programs and services that the county offers, and it's very important for our citizens to take the initiative and do their part to help fund those programs.
All right, well, very good. Well, I appreciate that, Harry, so much. Now, moving forward as we get into the new year, it's also time to list taxes. And explain to us about that process.
Well, personal property owners are responsible for listing their taxes. Obviously, with real estate, the deeds come through the register of deeds. We know when property transfers, we know who the owner is, but that doesn't necessarily work the same way with personal property. So under North Carolina statutes, the personal property owners are responsible for letting us know that they have the property. They are responsible for listing it during what's called the annual listing period, which runs from January 1st through January 31st of each year.
Okay. Now, again, folks, to kind of really explain what personal property is, that's a little bit different. It's not our motor vehicles that we drive every day, and it's not our homes, but it's everything else.
That's correct. If it's not real estate and it's not got a registered motor vehicle tag on it, it's personal property. So that includes things, as we mentioned before, like boats and motors, also airplanes, manufactured homes, business personal property. And business personal property goes into things, it's talking about things like furniture and fixtures, computers, things that are used by a business. One thing that some of our citizens may not recognize, but if you have a home that you're renting out that's furnished, then those furnishings that are associated with that are also considered to be business personal property, and those folks are responsible for listing their furnishings.
Okay. And that's coming up. That's the first of the year through the end of January. They have that time to do that. And the process for doing that, the documents, the forms necessary are available online or in your office?
That's correct. And what we try to do to facilitate this is anybody that listed property with us the previous year, we will mail them what we call a listing form or a listing abstract, and those will be in the mail around the week before Christmas.
Okay.
So folks that listed last year should be receiving that in the mail. The only thing they have to do is look at the information, verify that they still own that same property. If they have anything that they've sold or no longer own, they can strike through it and write sold or whatever happened to it. Beside that, if they have acquire some new personal property, they can write that on the form as well. Now, folks did not list last year, but they have something to list this year. Like you said, you can go online, get a form, contact our listing staff. They're always more than happy to help the citizens, and they can also give them some assistance as far as how to fill out the form if they have any questions.
All right. And again, you said folks who listed last year probably should be on the lookout for that. If they don't get it, maybe they've moved, had a change of address, something like that, they also need to reach out for you, to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And since you mentioned change of address, that reminded me of one thing I always like to mention. I think folks, when they move, the tax office is the last folks they think to notify about an address change. And every time we do a mass mailing, we get a whole lot of return mail that says these folks have moved and don't have a forwarding order. So if someone has moved, it's really important that they contact our office and give us their correct mailing address.
All right. Well, very good. Well, again, let's remind folks the best way to reach out to you all. You have a great website presence and a kind of a central telephone number if they have questions.
The main number is 989-2200. The collections division number is 989-2202. That would be for the payment questions. And for the listing questions, our listing division number is 989-2201.
Fantastic. Well, Harry Smith, as always, we appreciate you taking your time. I know you're super busy this time of year, but thank you for coming out and sharing this important information with us.
Thank you so much. It's our pleasure.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is Matthew Mano from the Onslow County Public Library Youth Services Division. We are always so happy when you're here.
It's great to be here.
I got you a bunch of little kids here.
Yes.
Because so you'd feel at home.
I do, and that's my element too. I'm a Pennsylvania native, so snow.
It's the best we can do.
It's the one thing I miss.
So this is sort of our attempt at a white Christmas.
It's perfect.
So yes, because I don't have to shovel this.
This is true. We can just stare at it like a window.
So with that in mind, it's winter. Kids are going to be home.
Yes.
Christmas is upon us. The holidays are here, and the library has got lots going on.
We do. We're kicking off lots of active programs and passive programs. So we're going to be starting some Christmas programs from the beginning of December all the way to the second and third week of December throughout all of our 4 branches, Swansboro, Sneads Ferry, Richlands, and of course our main one in Jacksonville. So we'll have Santa visiting at those. We'll be decking the halls and having winter wonderlands. So we'll have a lot of fun for the kids to do, games, crafts, activities, of course. So that's kind of our Christmas programs. And then, of course, we have our adult Pinterest programs, everything to get people in the mood for the holiday.
There you go.
So it's going to be really exciting.
Now, with that, you also, we were talking with our airport director earlier, Chris White, about travel, and one of the things he mentioned was your awesome kiosk that you all
Yes.
had there. And we do have to say, it's not as simple as just going up and pressing a button and there's a book. So what do we need to do?
So it's really great for people that aren't from Onslow County, that don't have an Onslow County library card. They can use the airport kiosk, and that gives them like a temporary library card, like a 3-day card, and then they can check books out for their flights, and then they get it for 2 weeks still to read it, to do it. Once they fly out of Onslow County, they still have access to that, to the digital library.
Okay.
But people that are Onslow County residents that have a library card, they can access our digital library, because of course when you're traveling, I don't carry my son's 5-tier bookshelf with us.
Right.
So it's great because we have a little Fire tablet, we access the Overdrive library, and then there's an app that you can get for iOS or Android. It's Libby, Libby,
Okay.
short for librarian.
I got it.
So the Libby app will let you download digital books, audiobooks, and then you can also go online to your browser and watch movies too. The great part about this though is that with the Libby app, for kids, it does not only adult fiction, juvenile fiction, but it does easy picture books too.
Okay.
So those are, our bedtime stories that we like to read whenever we're out at Gigi's or Nana's and we don't have the whole library with us. But not only that though, if say we're busy preparing Christmas dinner or something, they also have narrating books. So they have read-alongs for the kids. So it'll read it to them, it'll flip the pages, and they're still being able to see those sounds with the words.
And that is so important. When we think about in this age of multimedia, sometimes we've lost the ability to imagine and envision what's going on in the book.
Yes.
And there are studies that when kids read, they've lost a little bit of that ability to see the story in their mind's eye.
Right.
So this brings that back.
Yeah, and this is perfect too because, like you just said, even movies that are made from books, they've created that picture for you. So, if somebody happens to watch a movie first, you already have envisioned it. You already know what you're expecting. You don't get to create that scene for yourself. So Libby is an awesome app for people to use because, again, it keeps them reading and it keeps families reading. You can do easy picture books or you can do books without pictures. Okay. So you can constantly be creating those scenes for you. So
from the Polar Express to Charles Dickens, we can download all of our favorite holiday treasures.
Absolutely, and it's the NC Digital Library, so we are a consortium, so 96 different branches are part of this, so we have thousands of titles to pick from.
That's awesome. That is wonderful. Now, you mentioned keeping reading, and the winter time when we can't get outside as much is a great time for your winter reading challenge. Tell us what's going on.
So similar to our summer reading program, we're kicking off our winter reading challenge this year. It'll be kicking off New Year's Eve. So, if you have a New Year's resolution to read more, this is going to be a great way to do it. It'll be from kids up to adults, of course. It'll be done online through our Book Points program that we use for the summer. We kicked off first this summer, so this is kind of another way for us to get more acquainted with Book Points. But also, kids can win their prizes. They can get little trinkets and stuff the more they read, or parents read to them. But also our adults have chances to win prizes too. So you'll be on either your Christmas vacation or your kids will still be out of school. And we want them to keep reading, and we want parents to keep reading to their little ones too, because we do take a short pause for story time. Gives us a chance to be able to prep for the upcoming months for story times too.
Sure.
So this reading challenge will just help our kids to constantly stay in the grain of it. So this is a way for them, if they go to reading.onslowcountync.gov, that'll give them access to the Book Points portal. Just like the summer reading, they'll create their family account, log their minutes, win prizes, and it'll be a lot of fun. It's going to go from the 31st. We'll kick off at our New Year's Eve dance party for our preschoolers. So we're going to kick off there. It'll go all the way to the end of February.
All right, so Winter Reading Challenge. Libby, make sure that we all download that
Absolutely.
app. And then, everything. I mean, if we listed everything that went on in the library, we'd be here. We'd be here till Christmas, Matt.
Yes, it would take a lot of time.
So just go to your awesome website. Follow you all on all of your social media sites because you share information all the time.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, you're convenient at 4 different branches.
Yes.
So wherever you are in the county, you can get to a library.
For sure.
Well, Matt, thank you as always. I know we're going to have you back in the springtime, but until I see you, happy holidays to you and your family.
Absolutely, and to you as well.
You have a new baby. This is first Christmas, right?
Yes, going on 4 months, so
So
exciting.
hope Santa is good to everybody at your house.
Absolutely, thank you.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us is a new Onslow County friend and staff member. Welcome, Katie White from Onslow County Park and Recreation.
Thank you for having me.
So this is your first visit with us here on Onslow County Today. You started just at the end of the summer? Katie?
Correct, in August.
Okay, and we've been trying to get you on the show, but you've been so busy. You've not looked back. You just hit the ground running.
Correct.
And the holidays are no different.
Not at all.
We were talking off camera, and we were talking about you had several events planned for this month, but they filled up so quickly that we're just going to move past them.
Absolutely.
And talk about some kind of 4 big main events.
Absolutely, yes.
So first thing first, you have the big guy coming.
Yes, we do have Santa coming, December 7th.
Okay.
10 a.m. at Onslow Pines Park. It is called Santa in the Park and So Much S'more.
Oh.
So we will be having s'mores. We'll have a fire out. It's a free event. We provide everything. We'll have crafts. You can write a letter to Santa. The Southwest Fire Department is actually going to bring Santa in.
Oh.
The reindeers couldn't make it, so our fire department has stepped up. They're giving him a ride. So this is an awesome opportunity for the kids, the families to come out. We'll have food, drinks, crafts.
The reindeer are in training for Christmas Eve, so it's always good. That Southwest Volunteer Fire Department, those are good folks to help out.
Yes, they are.
All right, so they're bringing in Santa.
Yes.
Come out, you're going to have goodies, you're going to have crafts and games and fun.
Absolutely, an inflatable, we'll have s'mores, everything's free. It's just a great opportunity. Pets are welcome as long as they're on a leash, so bring your fur babies out. Meet Santa, get your pictures.
And of course, wear your best, most fun Christmas attire.
Yes, absolutely.
So your antlers, your bells.
Yes,
anything.
We've seen pajamas, any Christmas spirit you have.
Awesome. That is, and again, Onslow Pines, so at the main park there.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. So then, Mom and Dad might have some errands to run in the next few weeks, and so you all have a special kids' night out planned.
Yes, we have a kids' night out Christmas pajama party. This is December 13th, Friday. It runs from 6 to 9, so this is a perfect opportunity for parents if they need to do last-minute shopping, They can drop their kids off. We're playing games, we're doing crafts, we have music, we're entertaining them, and they can go shop, they can go on a date night, just a fun holiday event for the kids, and let the parents have, a little bit of time on their own.
Take a minute. Their own little Christmas. You're giving a present to a lot of parents.
Yes.
Let me tell you that you should just put a big bow on it. 'Cause that's a
Absolutely.
great thing. And then, speaking of presents, you all are having a jewelry workshop, and maybe you can make some presents.
Yes, and that is December 12th. We are holding a holiday festive jewelry class. We'll be making earrings, bracelets. We provide all the supplies. We just ask that you sign up in advance because there's limited space. But this is perfect if you want to make your own gift, give it to your friends, family, even if you want to wear it for yourself.
Okay.
Like I said, it's the 12th of December, so you'll have plenty of time if you want to make it for yourself.
All right. And then last but not least, camp.
Yes.
Right, all these little kids, it's time for Christmas camp or holiday camp.
Holiday camp,
Holiday
correct. Yes, while the kids are out of school, we are offering a holiday camp that will run Monday the 23rd, Thursday the 26th, the 27th, the 30th, and 31st.
Okay.
And that is a full day camp that runs 7:30 to 5:30. So we understand parents have to work, they've got to get back to the job, kids are out of school. So we're providing this at Onslow Pines Park as well, a full day camp. We'll be providing activities, games, just a lot of fun to celebrate the holiday season.
And what is the cost on that if we want
The
to?
cost is $20 per child per day. So it's $20 a day. If you have a sibling, it's $15. So
Okay.
we try to cut a sibling discount. And we ask that you do register for that in advance because there's limited space.
I was going to say, so probably some limited space on there.
Yes.
So $20 for the first child, $15 for the additional
Correct.
child. It's all day.
All day.
Do we need to bring a lunch every day?
You need to bring a lunch, and we ask for 2 snacks.
Okay.
We do a morning snack, the lunch, and then an afternoon snack.
All right. And you're going to have all kinds of crafts and games and maybe even some field trips?
Yes, absolutely. If we can get a hold of a bus, we will be
Okay.
offering field trips.
Fantastic. So that's currently in the planning.
Yes.
But go ahead and register early.
Yes, we do ask that you register early. You can do that online at our website. It's onslowcountync.gov/parks. And there's a button, register for a class or activity. You go there, it sends you to our third-party website where you can easily register, 1 child, 2 child, as many as possible.
Okay. So those are the 4 big things that you've got planned for the
Yes.
holiday season. Katie, you've not even been on the job 6 months. And you've been doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
So thanks for everything.
Yes.
Again, go to your website, follow you.
On Facebook, yes.
All your social media is great.
Thank you.
And go out. And you know what? In the wintertime, it's also a great time to just visit our parks.
It is, yes. We offer tons of walking trails, playgrounds. It's a great way to just get out and spend time with your family.
And maybe walk off some holiday calories.
Yes, that
So
too.
staying healthy and staying outside even when you want to eat cookies.
That's right.
All right. Well, Katie, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so
Welcome.
much for having me.
And we're glad you're here.
Yes, and I will be back.
Awesome. Welcome back to Onslow County Today. And joining us now is one of my favorite friends here in the county, in Onslow County, and elsewhere. So Whitney Jessic, thank you for being here as always.
Thank you for having me again. I love to come.
So a couple of months ago, it was time to start school, and we were talking about the need to get back to school physicals. And folks might be saying, we're almost halfway through the school year. Why are you revisiting that? But this is really a crucial time in kind of that school year. So Whitney, we want to talk about the school physical program, why it's important, and then some of the ramifications if you don't get that screening. So let us know about what's going on at Onslow County Public Health.
Well, first of all, we call them well child checks because every child needs a well child visit annually so that we can check their vision, check their hearing, make sure that their height and their weight is proportionate because we have a growing obesity problem in our children. Then that way we can intervene and we can help them. We want to make sure that they're emotionally able to sit into a classroom. So yes, the school physicals are very important, and you are right. We've kind of gotten through that back to school crush, for lack of a better way of saying it. So we do have some of the people that move into our state from other areas in the country, and that law basically states that if you're entering a North Carolina school for the first time, and it's a state school, you can enter into a private school without a physical, but why would you not want to have a physical for your child?
Right.
I mean, then you'll know if that behavioral problem that they may be having in school is not because they're having a behavioral issue, it's because they're bored because they can't see the board, and they're going to distract themselves some other way.
Right, okay.
So when you think about those physicals, they're a head-to-toe exam, and we do them through the Bright Futures program, which goes from 0 years of age all the way to 20 years of age in 364 days.
Okay.
So like on the schedule, I may have a 2-month-old that's coming for their first well child check and their first round of vaccinations. I may have a 24-month-old that's coming to get their lead testing, their physical exam, get their hearing done. That's the first time they get their BMI, their body mass index, so that we can find out that their height and weight is proportionate and they're not having a weight issue. They're not overweight or obese, or we now have a term called extreme morbid obesity, and we're having it in our children.
So soon. I mean, it's already presenting itself so early.
Correct.
So you really do see a wide range of patients from that 0 to 20 with all kinds of different issues that might occur or things that might present themselves. This is not, though, a sick child visit.
No, it's not. And it's not a sports physical either.
Okay.
We will test for cholesterol, we will test for lead, we will test for if it's a sexually active teen and they've had unprotected sex, we will run the whole panel of the STDs and HIV because we want to make sure they're healthy. If you've immigrated to our country and you weren't born in the United States, we draw sickle cell because when a child is born in the United States, we test for sickle cell, and we'll place a PPD on them, a tuberculosis skin test, to make sure that at some point in time when they were in another country, they were not exposed to somebody with active tuberculosis, and they are carrying what we call latent tuberculosis, which means it's in their bodies dormant. They're not sick, they're not infectious, but TB is one of those really ugly illnesses because when you're at your weakest point, it makes you sick. So we can give you some medication for free to help kill that. And that's one of those reasons why the screenings are so important and the testings are so important, because lead can cause developmental delays. And for example, let's say I have a child that has a developmental delay or has a high lead. There is a certain protocol that the state has put in place through the Bright Futures program that we use, which is a best practice program, that we give certain referrals. And one of the referrals that we utilize is right in house with us, which is the CC4C, which is the Care Coordination for Children. I never get that. The acronym is beautiful for me because I just like to roll it off, so my apologies. The CC4C. And I actually have the referral, I fill it out, talk to the parents about it. I know just enough about the program to make me dangerous. I know what I know and I know what I don't know. So I hand carry that referral over to Volney Boney, who actually handles it beautifully. She calls the parent, talks to them about the program, and I understand she's a guest later today.
So she is, and we're going to make those connections because in those screenings that you keep talking about, the different iterations of those screenings that, it's from the very basic, like, are we crawling like we're supposed to? Is everything, to, as you say, is there something that's keeping you from being your best little person that you can be, and then how Volney's going to help facilitate and help that family.
Correct. And that is a program that does have an age restriction on it. Not a financial one. Anyone can qualify for it. But it is one of those ones that has that age window, and it's for that preschool child and into kindergarten. So it's 5 and under.
Making sure they're jumping right in.
Exactly.
Getting their best start. Now, as part of those screenings that we've been talking about, the other thing is about vaccinations, making sure everything is up to date where it should be. And you all are part of kind of a much larger database system to make sure. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the North Carolina Immunization Registry, or what we affectionately call NCIR, we give the school nurses the access to look at it. It's as a read-only status. And they're only searching for the state-required vaccinations, for example, like chickenpox, measles, mumps, rubella, the tetanus or the Tdap,
Right.
the hepatitis B. But we want to vaccinate all children under the age of 18 with every possible vaccine, preventable illness vaccine. So when they come to a well child check, we're going to talk about the Hep A vaccine, because think about the food recalls. Most of them are for hepatitis A infected food from a food handler preparing the food, not knowing that they had hepatitis A, and transmitted it through that food and given it to your child. Not knowing it, and that person that's preparing it not knowing it. But we can give a vaccine so it doesn't matter. They are vaccine prevented against that illness. So, I mean, and then the cancer preventing Gardasil. I mean, to be able to prevent cancer. If they had one for breast cancer, would be signing everybody up, would be staying, the building would be, have a line wrapped around it. So to be able to prevent oral, anal, rectal, throat, and cervical cancer in adolescents, because people think that HPV is a sexually transmitted disease, and it's passed on the hands. It's skin to skin. So, I mean, we don't know who's touching our child, unfortunately. We don't know who our child may have a relationship with later on in life that didn't have this vaccine. So to be able to vaccinate your child against cancer, unbelievable.
And just saying that, it's something that we've talked about literally for generations.
Correct.
If only there were a vaccine against cancer.
And we have it.
And we have it.
And the really cool thing is when you look at the statistical data from the Gardasil 4, because now we give Gardasil 9, that age group that is aging into those cancers, there is huge percentage rates of decline in those diagnoses of those cancers because of that vaccine.
Fantastic. Now, we've talked a lot about, the need for the school physical and the well child physical and all the screenings and the vaccinations. And then, last but not least, this sense of sending your child off to college. Some of our kids may have deferred not going this first semester, so they're going to head out for the spring semester in January. And they have additional considerations like meningitis and living in close quarters.
That's the Minge B one. They get Menatra. As a matter of fact, the state law is changing. They will have 2 Menatras. They'll get it as a rising 6th grader and a meningococcal. There's different brand names. My apologies. And then they're going to get a booster in their 11th grade year. So that Samuel L. Katz award-winning immunization outreach that we do in conjunction with the school, that will also be introduced as that second dose of Menactra or meningococcal. And we presently have the Minge B, which is that vaccine of the very catastrophic. You get very sick very fast in the first 24 hours. And then the body is really kind of cool the way it's designed. It keeps everything in the middle going, because that's where everything really important is. But you lose your fingers, toes, arms, and legs, and things like that. So being able to vaccinate somebody against it, you get 1 dose, and then 30 days later you get another dose. And it's all from that sharing that we do, and the cups and everything's all sat in the bathrooms together, and all the cups and the toothbrushes. And oh my gosh, I used my roommate's toothbrush. I didn't mean to use my roommate's toothbrush. I used her cup. I drank out of his soda, or whatever the case may be, because they're invincible, invisible, and pregnatable, un-STDable. They're just invincible at that age.
Superheroes when you're 17.
There are also other laws for the state vaccinations that give us the ability to take some of those vaccines and give them to a 19-year-old, for example. If you're entering a major university, or you're entering a trade school or a community college, and they require you to, for example, to have the measles, mumps, and rubella, and you don't have it, we can actually give you a state dose of that. We can do the same with the varicella or the chicken pox, because those are so important not to take those into our colleges and our trade schools and our universities, that they give that to it. And some of the colleges are now requiring to live in the dorm that you have a PPD or that TB skin test.
Right.
To make sure that you aren't carrying a sleeping dragon, for lack of a better way of saying it, because it's asleep. It's not making you sick. It's not making anyone else sick. But when you're at your weakest, it's going to be
rear
ugly.
its head.
It's going to rear its ugly head.
And and last but not least, the other thing that I think about in terms of vaccinations and well child checks is this time of year, the holidays, we are in
The flu,
super
yes.
close proximity. We're at grandma's house. We're getting run down. We're just running and running and running. We're not on our regular sleep schedule, whatever. And talk about a sleeping dragon. We really
Yes.
do need to mention.
Well, first, it's good hand washing.
Yes.
And then secondly, it's getting vaccinated. But we also have to remember this, the flu vaccine gets a bad rap. We do not give a live virus flu vaccine. The only one that's live virus is the one you sniff up your nose.
Okay.
So we give 2 at the health department. We give the 65 and up, which is called the high dose flu, and then we give the regular flu.
Okay.
And we give that regular flu. If you've never had the flu vaccine up until you're 8 years of age, you're called naive to flu vaccine. So you're going to get 2 that first year. You're going to get 1 dose, and then 30 days later, you're going to get a second dose. And that tells the immune system this is a bad juju. So we want to make sure you got a big army to go fight it. And then after that, you need 1 annually. And the bad juju that goes around the flu vaccine is it gets blamed for giving people the flu. And what happens is it takes 2 weeks for that flu vaccine to come into full effect. For a flu from last year, a really smart group of scientists get together and they go, we think it's going to do this, we're not sure if it's going to do that, but we're going to build this vaccine sort of like how it mutates. And you wait until Betty Sue next door has the flu to go get your flu vaccine, and Betty Sue has already exposed you 4 or 5 days before she ever got sick with the flu. So you get the flu vaccine and you come down with the flu and you blame it on the flu vaccine and not Betty Sue who lives next door. Anybody named Betty Sue? Sorry about that, but it was the name that popped in my head.
And the flu was already lingering.
That's right. It
hanging
was
out.
already starting to hang out and attack the immune system and make you feel kind of tired. And then all of a sudden, boom, you were sick. And when you get the flu, you legit are sick. I mean, we have people that are hospitalized. We have people that die annually. We have children that die, and people that go, I've never had the flu. I want you to say the word yet. Because I love my mother and I love my stepfather. My stepfather refused to get the flu vaccine last year. My mom got her. She was hospitalized 5 days with the flu. He was there 15 days because he did not get the flu vaccine.
You're not saying I told you so.
I did not. I didn't have to say it. I did not have to
Didn't
say
have
it.
to say it.
He goes, you don't have to say it. I'll get the flu vaccine next year.
But absolutely, if you've ever had it once,
You won't ever want it again.
Absolutely.
And that was the first time he ever had it. Yep.
like you said, yet.
Yet.
Well, we want everybody to have the happiest of holidays.
Yes.
So make sure.
Because
you
we're here
do-
with Santa.
We're here with Santa, and he says, please do not leave.
Ho,
the
ho,
flu.
ho. Go get your flu shot.
There you go. And don't, be baking cookies if you've had the flu. I don't want it.
Yeah.
Santa doesn't want it. We don't want it. We want it to be our happiest and our healthiest. And Whitney Jezik, you and your team and everybody at the Onslow County Health Department care so deeply
Yes.
and have
we are
such
grounded in it. It's really cool how grounded we are in public health because it really is a public service. If we keep our community healthy and we keep our community well, we have lower insurance costs, we have less lost productivity in work. I mean, think about a child that gets the flu and they're home for 2 weeks. There's a parent that's with that child losing productivity at work and then runs the risk of getting the flu themselves and contaminating everybody else in the household. So, I mean, just that one thing right there, good hand washing, get your flu vaccine, and help us create a herd effect for around those very, very few people
Right.
who can actually not get the flu vaccine. And there are very few people that can actually, legitimately not get the flu vaccine because of health dangers.
Right. Well, thank you as always. Thank you for caring so deeply and wishing you a happy and healthy holiday season.
Thank you. And it will be happy for me.
Welcome back to Onslow County Today. And now we have Vonnie Boney with us here from the Onslow County Health Department. Vonnie, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Lisa.
We were visiting with our friend Whitney Jezik earlier, and she said that I was going to love talking to you, and already we've gotten to visit a little bit off camera because we want to talk about your CC4C program, but you
Right.
tell our audience what that means.
Okay, so the CC4C program is the Care Coordination for Children program.
Okay.
And with I love the CC4C program. With the CC4C program, we work with families birth to 5 years of age. It's a North Carolina statewide program. Our target population with the CC4C program are children with special health care needs, children with medical conditions expecting to last more than 12 months, as well as those children who have been admitted to the neonatal intensive care unit as well as children who have been exposed to adverse life conditions and toxic stress. So those children include children that are in the foster care system, children that have been exposed to domestic violence, and also those children who have parents that suffer from substance abuse or mental health conditions.
So really, you're there to come in and help those families who maybe just don't realize the next steps, because your goal is always the best well-being for children.
Right. With our program, the overall goal of the Care Coordination for Children program is to improve health outcomes for children and families, and that's what we work to do every day.
So in our conversation with Whitney earlier, we talked about screening children to make sure, so it's a well care check, you know, vision, hearing, emotional ability and ready to go to school, or behavioral difficulties, screening for all of those little things that sometimes we just don't see in our day-to-day interactions, even with our own children. Maybe we miss something, so we have this screening. And then there's a red flag. And then when we have that red flag, that's when you step in.
That's when I step in. So what's so good about the Care Coordination for Children program is we sit down with the families and we assess and determine what's important to them. So whatever needs, goals, or concerns that they have, that's what we like to work on. So we have trained, skilled care managers, and with our families, we sit down and we establish an individualized, patient-centered care plan with these families so that we can get to know them, get to know their needs, and if everybody comes from a different walk of life, so everybody has a different story. So we sit down and we focus on what's important to them, and we help them reach their goals. Whatever barriers that they face, we assist them with getting those barriers out of the way. So if transportation is a barrier, if food is a barrier, whatever the barrier is, we work with those families to move those barriers out of the way and to focus on their need so that we can improve their health outcome.
You know, I'm thinking about, you know, that family who might be struggling in some ways that we can't even imagine. And all they think is, if only I could help my baby. And that's you.
That's us.
That's you.
That's us.
Now, how do we then connect you? How does a family get referred to your service so that they can begin making that better way of life for their kiddos?
Well, making a referral is such an easy process. The family, they can make a referral. We also, but primarily we get all our referrals from the pediatrician's office, hospitals, Department of Social Services, other community partners, but making a referral is so easy. All they have to do is they can contact myself at 910-989-3908, or they can contact Miss Michelle Andrade. Her number is 910-989-3901, and they can just pick up the telephone and they can just contact us and they can make that referral. It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
Is it just give a call and say, I know a family, I really think that they could benefit, that their children, children could benefit from your services, and then you create this very individualized, child, family centric. So it's not one size fits all.
Right, correct. So typically what we do once we get a referral, like I said, anybody can make a referral. The family, the caregiver, the parent, they can make a referral. They can contact us. Typically, the pediatricians and other community partners, they may fax a referral over. They may come to my office, or they may just pick up the phone and contact us. But once we get that referral in our hands, we reach out to the family. Typically, our first contact is a letter, and we let them know, hey, we received the referral. And then myself, I'll reach out to the family via telephone call. I'll contact them, and I'll assess and determine their eligibility for services. If we can't get the family on the telephone, then we may reach out to the referral source. We may reach out and collaborate with the pediatrician and anybody else that's involved in that family's care team so that we can get that family engaged in the program. We don't want to miss anyone.
Don't want to miss
We
anybody.
don't want to miss anybody.
Now, what comes to mind next for me is, as I'm hearing you talk about your love and for what you do and for these families, is what are some of the outcomes you're seeing when you've worked with families in this program? What are some things that you're seeing happen? What are some things that you're hearing from those families?
The Care Coordination for Children program is so rewarding, and what's so good about our families is we're able to see some of their successes. So we may have a family, I'm just going to give you an example. A child may come in who its mom is having some speech concerns, so we work with that family, we get that child connected to speech therapy, we talk with that pediatrician, and we determine exactly what that family needs, and then we can look back and see that, hey, that child gets connected to a speech therapist, that child has increased their language skills, and when we do a developmental screening, we can actually see the results.
And you know, as they grow, I mean, the results are in the success of that child.
It's in the success. And we have families that graduate from the program, but they come back and they see us and they tell us how important the CC4C program was for them and their families.
So really, you're the intercessor on the way to that child's path for success.
Correct. And I can't take all the credit. I have to give credit to my supervisor, Ms. Michelle Parsons. Mm-hmm. She leads the way. And also we have great care managers. They are vested and they really, truly are passionate and they really care about Onslow County citizens and children.
So this is what we want to do. We want to tell folks one more time, if you know of a child either in your own family or that you encounter, you know, at child care or as the primary caregiver, in any way in which you are a neighbor and you see that a family might be needing a little extra assistance, might need that intercessor to step in so that you can help this family on their path and this child to success. How do we reach you one more time?
You can reach me by contacting me via telephone, 910-989-3908, or you can contact Ms. Michelle Andrade. She's our great care management processing assistant. She's our glue. She is 910-989-3901. Just contact us, even if you're not sure if the child qualifies, don't worry about that. Just contact us, make the referral, we'll do the assessing, and we'll determine if the child is eligible for services.
Well, thank you, Bonnie. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for what you do for the children and for the families of Onslow County. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays, and thank you so much for having me, Lisa.
As always, we want to thank you for joining us for Onslow County today, and a very special thank you to all of our guests who work each and every day to make life here in Onslow County the best that it can possibly be for all of our residents. In this season of Thanksgiving and this season of celebration, we celebrate you, the people of Onslow County, and invite you every day to get out and explore your Onslow County today. Happy holidays.